So I'll take you back through kind of what has happened in the year of 2015. The first thing that really makes our youth ministry run is our leaders who show up and disciple kids. I try to get out of the way as much as possible and let our leaders get next to kids and talk with kids and pray with kids. The goal is that each kid feels known and connected in our ministry, where they're not just a face in the crowd. And so we have like a lot of awesome leaders that do that show up on a weeknight when they have families, that show up on a weeknight when they're a young adult and could be out just playing, hanging out, doing whatever they want to do, but they show up weeknight after weeknight after weeknight and invest in kids. These are really amazing people. I get paid to do this, and I love doing it, but these people that just pour in volunteer hours. If you see a youth leader, actually, youth leaders, why don't you stand up real quick? If you're a youth leader in this room. Church, you should just know kind of who is investing in the lives of our teens. Cool. The other, and I was reflecting on this, parents. Man, parents, you guys getting your kids to youth group, in the battle sometimes of getting them to youth group where they're teenagers and they're invested in a lot of different areas, or they're feeling like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Just the season of being a teenager and being a parent to teenagers. I am super thankful for our parents who fight for it, who fight for this is a priority, who are patient, who are wise, who are committed. And I would just say to parents, and if you ever run into a parent, communicate to them that I'm here for them, that I want to be a support to them, that I'm not sitting in a place of judgment when your kid doesn't show up, but I want to be with you and help you out in whatever way our ministry can. I recognize there are seasons when your kid's not going to show up and they can't show up, but we want to like be a youth group and a church that impacts those sorts of kids. Say another big thing for us this year has been moving into this building. It's been, we were in the lobby, but then we moved out back and just figuring out kind of the nuances of how things work and kind of the time that goes into figuring out the greater system of what does youth group look like anymore. And then for us, our teenagers and our leaders, just working through change. With Pastor Larry moving on a year ago, we're looking at really a lot of change and some healing and some growing and some moving on. And so we've kind of been working through that with a lot of our kids who've been here for a longer amount of time and working with them and trying to be open with them. And then having Amanda join us and instant fruit. There's a young lady in our youth group. She's a junior in high school who has wanted to be a baker for the last, 10 years, 5 years. That's what she wanted to go to school for. Well, she sees Amanda show up and realizes that women can be pastors. And this girl reaches out to me and says, hey, is this a possibility for me? So, immediate fruit just from God bringing Amanda in and seeing God work in ways that he wouldn't have necessarily been able to work in otherwise. So that's been like really cool, just seeing God work through the change and work through that growth. Other things, this summer I got my provisional license, which means I can do your funeral. Yes. Just in case. Gloria and I are counseling. We actually just came from lunch. We were counseling a couple who are doing premarital, which has been a real blessing. There's a couple that wasn't sure they were going to do it, but are doing premarital, and that's been just a real blessing. We had a youth pastor and his wife give us premarital counseling, and it was just a great tool and great asset. And so we're excited to be in a place where we're able to do that. And so that's something kind of that's changed over this year as far as ministry. Another thing, just to kind of give you the blueprint of what our youth group's all about. Our youth group is about introducing kids to Jesus, and we believe that happens when a kid is known and they're connected. When a kid walks in our door and at least one adult leaves that night knowing their name, where that kid's not just a number. Thinking about kids who are in a class of up to 30 kids, who are on a team of 50 kids, we want to make sure that these kids are known, That's a huge thing for us. And so, again, back to our leaders put in all this time, and that's what helps us accomplish that end of our vision. The other area is connection. We want them to be connected, and so our youth group, weekly nights, our Sunday school, our special events are all opportunities for teens in our community to come out and connect with one another, to rub shoulders with people that are pursuing Jesus and hear the gospel as we present it. Something that I did this fall, this was awesome. I was really excited about this. I was coaching junior high football. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but I was volunteering coaching junior high football here in Palmyra, and it was kind of like a second youth group. I had 50 kids 5 days a week for 2 hours. And I'm just rubbing shoulders with them. I'm like talking with them. I'm like smacking them on the head because it's football and it's awesome. And these boys are just like soaking it up. We started an FCA group with them, and so we were doing Fellowship of Christian Athletes and having 20 kids show up every Tuesday to get in the Word. Kids the next game being like, remember what we learned in FCA. We need to remember this stuff. Just really awesome. And then some of those kids coming out, we did an event, the homecoming after party. We hosted an after party after the homecoming dance, which we were nervous about, but we knew, like, community kids, this is when they're looking for something good. And our church kid, they're trying to stay out of trouble, but if there's not an avenue, they might be swept up in a party scene. So we threw a party, and we saw probably 15 or 20 kids from the football team or their dates come on this event. And it was just some really cool fruit of when we get out in the community, when we are a light in the community, when we're unashamed of the gospel in the community, God works. This past summer, we had 2 mission trips. We went to Vermont with our high school kids in North Carolina, and so there's opportunities for teenagers to be going out. Like Aubrey said, young adults and our high school students had the opportunity to go to Guatemala to be a part of Champions in Action. It's a soccer camp that leads kids to Christ, and so we have high school students going there this year. Junior high had went to North Carolina this year. We're taking them all the way to Georgia. It's going to be really fun. We're going to come back with awesome accents and sunburns. Maria Francina signed up, so pray for her, because this ain't children's ministry. She almost backed out when she found out that there weren't beds, that you had to bring an air mattress. You can't tell people that ahead of time. You need to get them in. Another huge thing we do at this church, and I'm really thankful for you guys for supporting this, we are able to bring in interns. And our denomination foots half the bill, and then we foot half the bill, but we're able to bring in interns. And this is a program that helps young people and older people, but more often than not younger people, figure out if they're called to ministry, to test their gifts in the church. I think it's a really awesome program we have, and we're really blessed in this conference that the church believes in that we're providing an avenue for people with talent, with gifts, to use it in the church and creating space for them to use it in the church. And so a couple people, Leah Hollowell was our first ever youth in leadership intern. She was in high school last year, and so they created a program for juniors and seniors in high school to kind of take on some leadership. And so she was working with high school students who were volunteering in our junior high ministry, giving leadership to them, giving counsel, advice, pointers, and meeting up with them to just kind of coach them through what it looks like to minister to junior high students. It was a really awesome thing where a senior in high school is now raising up the next generation of high school students who are investing time in junior hires so that they can know Jesus. It's just incredible. I'm excited to talk to some of you, maybe not today because I don't want to get you sick, maybe today if you don't mind the risk, but to talk to you, looking to be just confirmed or to hear advice from you as my church family. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the stretching things God's going to use. I'm excited for just being able to use my gifts and my passion for young people here in this church. So thank you.